Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet a real-life Superman. He's going to teach us all how to unleash our hidden superpowers. His story just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team. And the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
So when I was growing up in the 70s, I was a big Batman fan, and I found that my friends were, you're either a Batman fan or a Superman fan or a Spider-Man fan. I gotta confess, I think I might be becoming a Superman fan because of my next guest, Dr. Mike Thielen. He is a real-life Superman. He's an author, speaker, holistic wellness, and nutrition. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Jeff.
And I gotta first say, it's unfair. As a man, I'm gonna protest. You got all the good looks. You took all the good looks. He's got this chiseled jaw. I wanna hear what is your message for the public right now? Because I think we're probably more unhealthy than we've ever been.
We've certainly been more unhealthy than we've ever been, but I think there's more, especially during the pandemic, post-pandemic. I've seen all of people with anxiety, depression, uncertainty, worry, fear. And so talking to hundreds, if not thousands of people, I really feel that the world needs our superpowers. So today I'm really helping people not just step into their superpowers, but unleash their superpowers because the world needs us.
He's an amazing speaker and author, and we're going to talk more about that in a minute, but let's see this overview.
I am Dr. Mike Van Thielen. I am the CEO, President of Neomatrix Medical. I'm a PhD in holistic nutrition. I'm an author and a renowned keynote speaker. Well, I grew up in Belgium, which is a little country in the center of Europe. I always say that Belgium is the size of the Everglades in Florida, a lot less alligators, but a lot more good beer and good chocolates. So that's where I'm originally from. I grew up in a single family home. My mother made ends meet. She worked very hard to provide for me and my brother. And so that's where I grew up. Well, when I was in elementary school, we did all kinds of sports activities, and I was on the basketball team, the soccer team. I was the fastest runner in the class. But when it came to swimming, I actually lost to one of my better friends because he was part of the local swim team. And so I'm a sore loser, so I decided to go and join the swim team too. And that's where I found my passion for swimming at age 8. I graduated from the University of Brussels as a physical therapist, and at that time I traveled with the Belgian Olympic swim team in preparation for the Atlanta Games in 1996. So we traveled all around the world, and we came particularly to Fort Lauderdale a few times for training camps, and I absolutely fell in love with Fort Lauderdale. So during that time there was a recruiter that wanted me to come work in the United States as a physical therapist. And when he asked, where did you want to work? I obviously said Fort Lauderdale. He answered, well, I don't have a position in Fort Lauderdale right now, but I have one in Ormond Beach. So I replied, well, I don't know where Ormond Beach is, but the beach sounds fine. And that's how I ended up here in Ormond Beach, Florida. So I came to the United States as a physical therapist, and I got more and more interested in more natural approaches. So I obtained my license in acupuncture, I became a doctor of oriental medicine, I got certifications in Chinese herbal medicine, homeopathy, etc. But after treating thousands of patients with those more natural approaches, I still didn't feel they were getting the long-lasting results I was looking for. So I had to look a little bit further, and I decided to go back to basics and obtain my PhD in holistic nutrition. because I believe that drugs don't cure, injections don't cure, surgeries don't cure, food doesn't cure, supplements don't cure, therapies don't cure. I believe that only the body can heal itself. So we need to put the body in the right conditions so it can heal itself.
Wow. And I'm surprised growing up around all that great beer and chocolate that you don't weigh 400 pounds. So talk about the discipline that it takes to get into a habit of healthy living, because obviously some of that video was shot a while ago and you're still as solid as you were 20 years ago.
Yeah, we obviously need to be a product of the product. But I think the swimming starting at age 8 really helped, because swimming is one of those sports you got to show up every day. And so even when you're not in the mood to go work out, you kind of have to. And I think that at a young age instills a lot of discipline, starting to doing things you're really not liking to do and taking those hurdles and attacking those obstacles because you have a dream or you have a goal in mind. And I think that's what's missing in most people today. We really gotta find a purpose in life, create a plan and a strategy, and be persistent so we can realize our dreams. And I think that's one of the more important things that we have to do.
Absolutely. I want to talk about your book, The IZOD Method, and we should point out it's not the IZOD crocodile shirt, right?
That's right.
What does IZOD stand for?
IZOD stands for In the Zone on Demand.
And tell us why you wrote the book.
Well, it all started during the pandemic. I was asked to help out doing pre-screening calls for medical marijuana. So I talked to many people. And to my surprise, there's so many people suffering with anxiety, depression, stress, uncertainty, worry. And yes, there's therapies. Yes, there's drugs out there. But I actually felt there was a deeper underlying cause. And I felt that most of those people really didn't have a purpose in life. Life is being thrown at them. We're in this vicious cycle of working. The boss throws things at us. We come home, we gotta bring the kids to soccer, and we're bombarded with over 14,000 messages, digital messages every day. And so we're unable to organize that chaos. And so all of us are, going fast, and we're not really living our purpose. So that's why I wrote this book. I created a method that basically says, let's stop, let's redefine our purpose or confirm our purpose or find our purpose in life, something that we're passionate about, that creates fire in our stomach, and let's transition back to really what we need to do with our life. And so that's the IZOD method. It's getting in the zone on demand, which means it's bringing your A game each and every time, having a plan, having a strategy, having a team of experts around you, being persistent, waking up in the morning and say, I get to get up, I get to do this work, I get to do A, B, C, D, and knowing that it brings you this one incremental step closer to those goals and dreams, versus being bombarded, being worried about the next day, about the finances, about the fear, about the uncertainties. And so I think the IZOD method starts with the basic premise. Let's sit down, let's stop the rat race, let's redefine what we really are passionate about, then make a plan, and then upgrade our body, our minds, and our life, getting control of our life, because control creates clarity. Clarity gets rid of all stress.
Well, one of the things that I love about you is you eat your own cooking. We've got some video of you working out as an athlete, and I want to give you a chance to kind of brag on yourself. World records, right? All American. I mean, you've got so many different titles. What did that feel like to have so much accolades?
Well, of course, it's being a product of the product, number one. But for me personally, I need to have a huge goal in order to show up every day at the swimming pool or at the gym. I don't necessarily like to work out in the gym or in the swimming pool. So if I wouldn't have that goal and that deadline on when I need to perform, it wouldn't happen. So I need that goal, I need that plan, and then we just need to execute, because I told everybody I'm going to do it. So
right,
no choice now.
Okay, I want you to give our audience some real solid takeaways, because everybody has their own inner monologue, and I'm sure that there are people watching right now who say, well, it's easy for him. I mean, he's a world-class athlete. It's easy for him. No matter where you are in your health journey, you can start immediately, can't you?
Yes, you can start immediately. Personally, I have a 3-step program. Most people, unfortunately, fall in step number 1, which is we need to regain control of our health. Because most people are in pain or they are diagnosed with some medical condition, they're suffering. So we basically need to regain control, get rid of the pain, get rid of those medical conditions, and get back to what we call quote unquote normal, right? And then step number 2 is who wants to be normal? Who wants to be badly surviving? Nobody. So now step number 2 is we need to go to optimal health, which means we need to be strong, we need to be fit, we need to be vital, we need to be in control of our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being.
Sure.
All right? And then step number 3, which is the fun step, is what we call biohacking today, which is basically upgrading your body and your mind, which means objectively reversing your biological age, because I'm 70, as you know.
So one of the things that I think you've hit on is it's all mindset. I remember like when I was really in the zone, my favorite dessert of all time is cheesecake, right? And I just love it. And when I was in the zone, you could put my favorite dessert in front of me and I would see poison.
Yes.
Because being fit felt better than anything that I could put in my mouth. I mean, part of it is like reprogramming the stories we tell ourselves, right?
No, and that's 100% correct. You know, our mind is our destiny. Our mind controls the body. And I think today, Jeff, we actually have a lot of technologies and a lot of strategies to facilitate for people to actually control their mind, get into the zone. I know I was always focused on the body and on the physique until I really witnessed the power of the mind. And I said, oh my gosh, there's where all the power lies. And then people told me like 2 decades ago, oh, you got to meditate. So here I go trying to meditate, but that didn't work for me. I mean, I couldn't empty my mind. My mind is going. So I tried it a few times and it became frustrating because if you don't see results, you're going to give up, right? And I can tell today there's so many technologies and strategies out there like breathwork, brain tap, and you name it, that actually even within one session can have people experience that zone. And once you experience something now, yes, you know, you're more inclined to continue to get further and further. So I think today it's much easier to get into that zone and, you know, teach or learn visualization, manifesting, you know, eliminating false core beliefs and actually perform at your A game whenever you need to.
Okay, I joked off the top that this is a real life Superman, but during some of his speeches, and I want to show this video, during some of your speeches, you actually have the Superman t-shirt. I love that.
That one shrunk in the wash.
So tell us about how did the Superman metaphor come about?
Well, because my book is The Eyes That Matter, it's about unleashing your superpower. Because most people, you know, they're in a job, they're living day to day, but we got away from our dreams. Because mostly society pushes in a certain direction. We got to go to school, we got to go to college, we got to work for somebody till we're 65. And then there's the golden years supposedly, and usually that doesn't happen. Or our parents and teachers push in a certain direction. Because dad's a lawyer, so they want you to go to law school, or mom is a doctor, wants you to go to med school. But, you know, the question is what were the dreams that you had as a child? What superpower did you want? And when we were a child, there was no doubt in our mind that we could be that person until somebody told us that's impossible. And that's when most of us settle for ordinary. So my job today is go back there. What was your superpower? What were your dreams? What are you passionate about? What creates fire in your stomach? Mm-hmm. And usually that doesn't align with the job you're doing right now. But it doesn't matter, we can't get there. I'm not telling people to give up their job today and not pay their bills tomorrow. But it's like, let's free up 1 hour a day so we can start working on that passion and that dream and slowly transition into that. Because you're here for a reason, and I'm here not to just step into your superpower,
yes,
but to unleash it.
Have you noticed that people are complex people? I mean, they have sleep issues, alcohol issues, they're comfort food issues. I mean, we're very complex people, and then you start getting prescriptions for these different things, yes, and pretty soon your whole chemistry is off.
It's a vicious cycle downhill, right? And again, it's reaching out for that, what I call the dopamine squirt, right? Dopamine mm-hmm. is one of those hormones. It's called the reward hormone. Mm-hmm. When the brain squirts a little bit of dopamine, it feels like somebody's patting you on the back. So that sugary drinks, coffee, bad food that gives you dopamine squirts, and now social media. And that's why we're so addicted to social media, because when somebody likes your Instagram or comments on your post, it gives you that dopamine squirt.
Yes.
So we're seeking more of it. The problem with that, Jeff, is that when we do that, we get into what we call a dopamine overload, which gives an imbalance of our 5 intelligence hormones, which results in brain fog, unable to focus. The average person can only focus 6 seconds today.
Really?
6 seconds. So we lost the audience already, okay? so lack of focus, brain fog, lack of attention can produce procrastinating, fidgeting, right? So I'm helping people with that, of course, because first they need to realize that that's the problem, the dopamine overload. So we need to control social media, control the phone, and upgrade our diet, and balance those intelligence hormones, and then put strategies and tips in place so we can get the work done. We can be effective. We can get into the zone, like you said. The cheesecake is not going to distract you, right? And get work done. And that's where most people have problems today. But many times with a little bit of education, some tips and strategies, we can get the job done.
Okay, we're going to plug your website in a second, but I want to give you the final 2 minutes to just give the audience some encouragement. If there's a person watching this right now who feels lost, they don't look the way they want to look, they don't feel the way they want to feel, what do you want to say to that person?
Yeah, the ISOT method is not a method just for athletes or musicians, because when we think about being in the zone, we're thinking about top athletes or musicians, right? This is for everybody. This is for entrepreneurs. This is for artists. This is for performance. This is for John Doe. This is for anybody who wants to regain control of their health, of their life, and perform at their highest potential. And so, yes, it is for you too. And the ISOT method has those 3 distinctive phases. Number 1, we really got to find purpose in life. And often we do that through a few simple exercises. So it doesn't have to take long to really figure out what your purpose is. And your credentials or your experience may not align with that, but that doesn't matter, because we want to get up in the morning, wanting to get things done and being excited about life. So that's step number 1, finding that purpose in life. Then we need to start taking control of our life, because it's a chaos. We need to control our agenda, our calendar, our life. We need to know what's happening tomorrow, next week. So there's no reason for fear, worry, or uncertainty. We have a plan, we have a strategy, and most importantly, we need a team of experts around us. We need to identify who we need, because there's no need to work on your weaknesses. We need to continue to work on your strengths. We will surround ourselves with people that are strong where we are weak, right, Jeff? So that's step number 2, control, because control creates clarity, no stress. We know exactly where we're going. I always say it's like the 110-meter hurdles. Yes. In the Olympic Games. For the women, it's 100-meter hurdles. They're surrounded with a team, coaches, nutritionists, mental coaches. They got a whole team around them, number 1. They know where the finish line is, and guess what? Every hurdle they attack, every obstacle they attack. It's not like, oh my God, there's an obstacle, I can't do this. It's not meant to be. No. They're focused, they're in the zone, they know where the dreams and goals are. That's step number 2. Step number 3, upgrading, right? Because 100 needs to be the new 30, and I think today that is actually possible. So for the viewers and the listeners, just stop, just get help, get a coach or a mentor like myself, get some good guidance, and let's live your life and unleash those superpowers.
Wow. You are so inspirational. I could listen to you all day. We're going to end with the website, which is mvtonline.com. The great Dr. Mike Thielen. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.